I believe I specifically requested my palace to remain empty today. Heaven knows I request a single day of privacy every 12 years, and my servants can't even abide by that one. A simple request. Who am I speaking to? I don't recognize your voice. State your name. Of course. Why wouldn't they bring in another outsider today? It's only the most difficult of the decade for me. For your own good, don't take a single step closer. Do not think because you have come across me at my most vulnerable that I am weak. I could very well inject poison into your veins should you try and harm me. If you know what is best for you, seat yourself down in the art gallery. It's through the archway with divine inspiration inscribed on it. If you haven't noticed, you nearly walked in on a noble in the bath of their own home. I don't think it's too much to ask for you to wait until I've finished. Thank you. Hello. Thank you for waiting. I know it was quite a long one. So you've noticed. Yes, I am a Naga. And I know you are trying to placate me, but I appreciate the compliment nonetheless. My scales are a brilliant gold, aren't they? They appear as if they have been dusted thanks to my recent shed. That's why I was in the bath, you see. The moisture helps the old skin come off painlessly. But on to more important matters. I don't believe we've had a proper introduction. My name is Yi Min. And you are? It's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. Firstly, I would like to discuss what happened between you and the townspeople today. Of course, I know why you're here. It's not as if it's the first time something like this has happened. It's just Never been on a shitting day before. Normally, the other servants are around to take care of these matters. The truth is, it's all their idea. I never asked the townspeople to do any of this. And yet, they keep insisting on sending me sacrifices. That's what they call it, at least. Explaining why is a rather long story, but I will condense it as best I can. In the ancient world, my family was quite prestigious. They all held rank of high nobility. Throughout the generations, we slowly changed from a noble house to running a highly successful family business. But despite being the sole heir to our empire, I wished to forge my own path in life. I wanted to be known through my own merit, not my heritage. So, I left with nothing but the scales on my back, inner determination, and enough money to hire contractors that would build me a small palace. The first few decades were quite peaceful, I must say. I was simply acting to live my life creating the works of art I was passionate about, and ship them to prospective buyers around the world. Have you ever heard of the artist M4A? That's me. But back at home, I believe I became something of a legend among the locals. Especially after my parents passed. So much so that a small community fled in search of me, and eventually they found my location. Despite my preference for being alone, it wasn't all bad at first. They showered me with gifts, showed a keen interest in my pursuits, and built a lovely-looking village for me to watch from on high. However, it seems they began to worship me. It started with an abnormal amount of idolization, then evolved into strange chants and finally sacrifices. They throw outsiders into the wall of the palaces for me, as if it will satiate when hidden wrath they believe I keep. To be honest, I don't pay much attention to their strange doctrine anymore. It's grown tiresome keeping up with the evolving rhetoric throughout the generations. I've tried getting them to stop in the past, but they don't seem to heed my warnings. At this point, I've grown accustomed to their strange way of showing affection. And aside from the scaring sacrifices temporarily, no harm has been done. In fact, it benefits me to a degree. I see no reason to stress over ending their worship practices. It's simple. The benefit comes in the form of my servants. No, no. You must understand. I do not force anybody to stay here. Should you wish to leave, you are free to go at any time. I will even supply some money for you to build your life elsewhere. However, many have decided that I am, in fact, a gracious host. One who is worth sticking around for. I will not force you to make a decision now. After all, you've only just arrived. I will give you a place to stay for 5 days, free of charge. From there, I will ask for a decision. You can either choose the simplest option of staying with me in exchange for some basic work, or I will send you on your way with enough money to get by until you can get to another city to settle down in. Please, the money will be no trouble at all. A single one of my scales will go for hundreds of a human market. Even still, I prefer to work my way into money. It's why I use my scales more in art than anything. Did you not take a look around while you were waiting? Then I must show you. Please, come, come. As you can see, I enjoy fine art. This here is a selection of my personal favorite works. The ones I couldn't bear to auction off. It does go on for quite a ways, but it could have easily stretched for miles. Had I been less picky, if I were to keep every piece I've ever made, I could populate 3 towns the size of this one with my artwork alone. Indeed, paintings, sculptures, carvings, pottery, I've had a lot of time to hone these skills. My personal favorite piece is this statue right here. No, not that one. Look through the window. Out into the courtyard. It is rather large indeed. I had a new element of this structure after every shed, encasing one of the golden scales from my old skin inside. It has become a tradition of mine that I don't intend to let up anytime soon. This project won't be complete until after I've passed. I can't just tell you what it means. That defeats the whole purpose of art. When looking at a piece, you must find that meaning for yourself. Even abstract shapes can hold a deeper meaning if you look at them in a certain way. That's all right. Not everyone is able to understand at first glance. I'm sure you will one day, if you study the right material. No, art is not the only thing I do. I also consider myself a bit of a philosopher. I know I don't look the type, but knowledge is a most valuable tool. That's why I spend a lot of my time in my studies. There are countless books that I looked into ways in which we think, and I wish to understand them all. It's given me somewhat of a knack for reading people. Indeed, I can tell when my servants are upset, anxious, sad, afraid, or any number of things. Once you understand the basics, it becomes something of a sixth sense. For example, I can tell that you're still a bit trepidatious and confused, but at the same time, you've grown curious about me. Impressive, no? Unfortunately, I cannot answer every question you may have about me. Not yet, anyways. There are secrets which I prefer to keep. I have my reasons, but speaking of secrets, I must ask a favor from you. Even if you do choose to leave, I require you to not tell anyone about my shedding. As I said, my scales fetch high prices in human marketplaces. It is wonderful to have that kind of safety net, but it also makes me a target. Should someone learn about my golden scales and attempt to intercept my next shed, or, heaven forbid, attempt to scrape them off my back, it would not bode well for me, my servants, or even the perpetrator themselves, to be frank. And if the townspeople learned their god was attacked by an outsider, I fear they may start doing more than just sacrificing for me. Do you understand? Good. Now then, there are many new art projects to start with this fresh shed I have to work with. In the meantime, since my servants won't be back until dawn, I'll escort you to your room. Please, take my arm. As I said, I'll allow you to stay here for 5 days free of expectation. But if you wish to stay for any longer than that, I will require you to work. Oh, I have head servants who handles that. I know she'll be able to find a place for you in the schedule. But it will only be simple tasks, I assure you. Cleaning, gardening, preparing meals, shopping. Nothing an ordinary citizen wouldn't be expected to do in their own home. Yes, of course. I will honor your choice to leave, should that be your decision. I'll give you one of my scales and offer a sail escort out of the village after nightfall. From there, what you do is up to your discretion. Here we are. One of our guests' bedrooms. Please make yourself at home. Before I leave you be, there's one thing you should know. These next 5 days aren't just a grace period, they are also a test. Not even my most trusted servants are privy to the time and dates of my sheds. You must prove to me that giving you this information was not a mistake on my end. And if it was, well, let's just hope it doesn't come to that. I will have dinner ready before nightfall. Hopefully you're a fan of Cheng Shao Ming. Excellent. Once you've noticed the sun starting to set, meet me in the dining area. It's on the bottom floor, past the zodiac tapestry. You've done well today. For being in such a stressful situation, I'm impressed. You should be proud of yourself. Of course, I'll see you once more at dinner. For the first time in a long time, it appears I'll be cooking for two. Hello everybody, this is Mushan ASMR, and I hope you enjoyed the Zodiac Pack Snakeskin story by Turtle Shark. Glad to actually be able to get back to one of their stories. It was pretty cool, Like, this is my second Naga type story, so I was trying to work on a type of serpent like voice and stuff like that. It was a little tough, and I was like, how's this sound? How would it, I'm like trying to figure it out. But I think it is okay. But I'll let you be the judge. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, if you enjoy these types of stories, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and it tells me that you really want to keep hearing my stories. I'll also be leaving the script in the link down in the description, so be sure to check that out and give Turtle Shark some love, as well as if you enjoy like monster snake type stories. I'll leave a link to one of my faves, Clover Says Hi. She does one of these types of stories too, and kind of drew a little bit of inspiration from her work as well. So you can check her out in the one of the videos that I'll put up on the outro, and yeah, give her some love as well. But yeah, have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, and night, whichever it is in your time zone. And stay wholesome, my friends. Bye-bye.